Wait for it to go live. It should be going live again for us when it goes live. It says we're live, so let's see. Here we are live. Put that there. Quickly add it to our live stream. Joshua vs. Ruiz. Let me get out, share it out to people. Live VE live. Post that out there. Yeah, let's make sure everyone can see it. There. Done my bit. Right. Pull it earlier. Let's get started. Uncle Bashir, you there?
Yeah.
Great. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. Special show here with the world-class trainer, mentor, guru, expert, man who knows about boxing, over 50 years in the sport, Uncle James Ali Bashir. Uncle, how are we doing?
Everything's going well.
Fantastic. Technical issues out the way. Here we go. First question asked is, why do I keep on calling you Uncle? That's what somebody asked me to ask you, so I thought I'd ask you the question.
Because we formed kinship over the time that we've been speaking to each other and the time that we've visited each other.
You know, Uncle, now it's been, what, 2012, 2013?
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So that makes us relatives.
Exactly. So that's it. That's the question. King. So can you explain to people what that means, kingship? Because some people might not get what that means there. Might go over
kinship. You know, it's something that's formed over time. It's a bond that's formed over time. A bond, a respectful bond between two men. You know.
There we go.
You know, that care about. You know, that we care about each other.
Absolutely.
You know, that's what. And we care about each other. And, we've seen each other, what, 3 times over those years.
Absolutely. Saw you after the Klitschko fight. That was the first time I saw you, straight after Klitschko lost to
AJ.
Yeah, lost to AJ. Then saw you again, met you again. We actually went to Germany to go to see you, actually. That was the first time I went to Germany.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. And obviously we spoke. Go ahead, Uncle.
I think it was a time in between that.
Might have been as well. Might well have been as well.
You know? But whatever the case is, it's something that's formed over time. You know?
Fantastic.
That's what happens when you have a good person in your life, you know?
Absolutely, Uncle. The other thing I've been criticized for is, why do I keep having you on the show all the time? Why do I keep bringing you back on over and over again? I love the wisdom. I learn and I grow and I understand more, and you're so wise.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you're going to a college.
Absolutely.
You know, you don't go to college one time. You just keep on going until you get what you came for. You know?
One of the things that people ask for on the channel is that you come back, even though I stopped doing a lot of the boxing stuff, that you remain on the channel. We talk often, so I said that's something I would still do. And I'm good to my word, so we're here. Okay, let's talk. In the background, once again, we have Ivana Habazin. Ivana!
I got earphones in.
They're not very good because I can hear her.
gotta guess.
Okay, no worries. Right, so let's talk the press conference. Your thoughts?
You know, as much as I like AJ, as much as I like him, I just wasn't convinced. Ruiz alluded to the fact that AJ has mental problems, so he doesn't have the confidence, and he's just doing what Eddie Hearns is influencing him to do. You know, he's not doing it because he really wants to do it. His heart is not into it. This is what Ruiz is saying. And when I'm looking at what's going on and the different things that he's saying. And I get the impression that Ruiz may be right. You know, I'm not convinced. His eyes, his demeanor, I'm just not convinced. You know, I could be wrong. I'm human. But I just get the impression that AJ is not going to win this fight. I just think I thought all along, spoke about it a few months back, and we said that, you know, this fight may be too soon for him. Maybe his head is not clear. Maybe his desires is not intact. But I just think that he's rushing himself and that he might run into a brick wall on this one. I'm not convinced that he's going to win this fight.
I met somebody very high up within the boxing world that's involved with this fight, very high up. What are your thoughts about the fight being in Saudi Arabia, and what are your thoughts on the possibility that the belts could be bought off of Andy Ruiz?
Yeah, that could happen. You know, I don't put anything past, you know, boxing insiders. I don't put anything past them, you know. That's why I'm telling you, man, we can't take no chances with the fight that we're getting ready to have with Clarissa Shields in Michigan. This is her first time coming into the States outside of the press conference. This is her first time boxing in the States. And, you know, when you have so much at stake, so much prestige and so much money, anything can happen, you know. So, yeah, maybe, you know, I can see somebody buying something, you know. I felt that the first fight with Prince Charles Williams, Prince Charles, it wasn't Prince Charles Williams, it was Prince Charles.
Who's that?
I forget his name. Prince Charles, the first fight that he had with him.
Oh, Charles Martin.
Yeah, Prince Charles.
Prince Charles.
I just felt that it just seemed like some hanky-panky went on there, you know. Yeah, I mean, he was down on the floor in 2 rounds, and, you know, I came here to get a belt away, and I'm out of here. I think he got a couple $1 million for the fight. So, yeah, anything can happen. When that much money is at stake, anything can go down.
It would make sense. I mean, financially, people are more interested to see AJ versus Wilder now, or AJ versus Fury now, rather than Ruiz versus Wilder or Ruiz versus Fury, because AJ is the more marketable name.
Yeah.
So
he won't be Ruiz decimate and beat him this down. He won't be. Ruiz will be the draw.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, Ruiz knock AJ out. This time he's going to be the draw.
Okay.
If Ruiz knocks out AJ this time, he's going to be the draw. I'm just not convinced AJ wants to be there, you know. I'm just not convinced.
Something has gone amiss with AJ. If you look at him since like the press conferences, he's got that look in his eyes like he's vacant. Lots of deep breaths.
Like he took some Xanax.
Yeah.
That kind of look.
Yeah, I saw him at the last press conference, and he was talking, and he kept grabbing his mobile phone and then putting his mobile phone away, then pulling his mobile phone back to him when he's talking. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Then taking deep breaths during the press conference, big deep breaths. I mean, what's wrong with you?
Well, I like I said, Eddie Hearn seems to be the one that wants this rematch more than AJ wants it. You know, I just get that impression from looking at the situation. I don't know, I'm on the outside looking in, but from what I'm looking at, I get the impression that AJ is not comfortable. He doesn't want to be there. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm taking into account when I'm looking at it. You know.
What have you made of Rob McCracken, Anthony Josh
looks like he has on Xanax too. He just had a whole hum expression. If you can read into that, you know, when I'm looking at him, I just don't think it's going to go well. You know, I don't think it's going to go well.
What a lot of their people that you watch, if you look at YouTube, a lot of comments come up. AJ, go AJ. Yeah, AJ, you'll beat the fat boy this time. A lot of cheerleading. But one of the things that's quite apparent people are talking about is him losing the weight. Talk to me about his weight, Uncle, because for me, I think it's like ridiculous. But you go ahead anyway.
I think that, you know, Ruiz said that he's going to come in about 255. You know, and I think that's a smart thing to do instead of trying to take off an enormous amount of weight. I think that, you know, he'd be better suited to come in at 255. That's what he says he's going to come in at. So don't try to build Rome in a day. You know, he comes at 255. It's you know, better than what he came in at before. He'll be faster. He'll be more accurate, and he'll probably get less tired. So he says he's going to come at 255. We have to wait to see.
What about AJ's new build? Before he looked like a Hercules. Now he looks like he's anorexic in comparison.
I don't know. Maybe somebody told him that he got to be quicker, he got to be faster, this, that, or the other. But Ruiz can crack. He can punch, that's for sure. He can punch. So I don't know whether taking off that weight is going to help him or whether it's going to be a detriment to him, you know. It looks like he took about 20, 25 pounds off.
It can't be a benefit to him. I mean, it's that weight that kept him upright, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but he's probably thinking that he needs the box. I'm thinking that he should have kept that weight on him and walked to Ruiz, not back away from him, walk to him, meet him in the center ring, and give him something. Our Sonny Liston, you know, our George Foreman, come right to the center ring, because George Foreman would have took a guy like Ruiz and pounded him into the canvas. George Foreman wouldn't have ran from him. No, he would have walked to him, you know. I think that AJ would have kept the weight that he had on him to be able to walk to Ruiz and try to pound him into the canvas, as opposed to trying to be cute.
I noticed something when AJ was being hit all the time. When he gets hit, he goes into a shell. I thought you know his body language. As soon as he gets hit back, he goes into shell. He puts his head down and goes into shell. You know, like he seems to cower away when he's being attacked. When he's being hit back, he doesn't quite know what to do. Because when he got hit with a punch, he tucked his chin in and put his hands up. So when he puts his hand like, he's got no way of defending himself. So he's got no way to see when the punches are coming from the sides of him or through the middle.
That was exactly the case in the first fight versus Ruiz.
Yes.
You know, he had his head low and the shot came on the temple, and it disorientated him, you know. Disoriented. He just didn't respond well.
But their left hook is where he leaves himself vulnerable every time.
Yeah, he's a sucker for left hook.
And those technical things, if he didn't address them in the Dillian White fight, he didn't address them in the Klitschko fight, he's suddenly going to address it now.
I just don't think that it's going to fare well for him. I just don't like the whole scenario. I think that he's going to get beaten again.
What would you like to see?
I don't have nothing against Ruiz. I like Ruiz too. I thought Ruiz beat Parker. You know, I don't have anything against Ruiz, and I don't have anything against AJ. You know, I'm just calling the spade a spade. I don't think it's going to go well for him. I think that Ruiz is better suited for the position, maintaining the title. I'm just not convinced that AJ is all the way back mentally.
Do you think he's going through a depression?
if he's not going to a depression now, he will be after the second knockout.
Oh, God.
I'm telling you. Because that's what I see happening. I think that he's going to meet a completely different Ruiz in the ring this time. And if he does not knock Ruiz out inside of 5 rounds, he's going to be going 5 rounds. I just don't see a big guy like AJ dancing around the ring like some kind of Cinderella or something. You know, he's a big guy, big, strong guy. George Foreman in his heyday was 6'4", 220. And George Foreman didn't run from nobody. George Foreman stood his ground and punched. AJ can punch. You know, he can punch. And that's what he should, go to the bank with, that punching power. But now they got him cut down and shaved down, and now it looks like he's ready to start trying to dance around the ring. He's not Muhammad Ali. You know, he needs to, he just needs to keep the mask that he had and work behind a good jab and punch. But it seems to me that they shaved him down. They're going to try to make him dance around the ring, dance around. But Ruiz is going to be on a seek and destroy mission. If AJ comes in there trying to dance around, use the jab, work his show from a distance, it's not going to work because Ruiz is going to crowd him. They're going to train Ruiz to crowd him. And if he crowds him, the same thing is going to happen again. I would have left that mask on him. I would have worked on his jab to get behind his jab and try to land that right hand. The powers that be, Eddie Hearn, maybe some of the people that's associated with AJ that's around him, tell him to take off the weight where you can move and this and that and this and that. But that's not going to work. Ruiz is going to cut that ring down and go after him. And if he gets tired, it's really going to be bad for him.
Yeah, and Saudi Arabia is going to be hot out there anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Ruiz is better suited for that kind of heat. You know, that kind of heat. I don't know how the arena's going to be. Those lights over the arena. If it's 1 degree outside, okay, if it's 50 degrees outside the ring with those television lights over that ring, that can turn that. I mean, if it's 50 degrees outside the ring with television lights, it goes up to 90 degrees. It's hot. It's hotter than those television lights.
Somebody says here, Joshua had no Fury or Wilder fight lined up, and fans were losing interest. So losing to Ruiz has generated a big money fight out of nothing. It could have been been planned.
Like I said, it could have. When you got that much money on the table, anything could happen. When you're dealing with millions of dollars like that, anything could happen. I just think that AJ and Wilder blew a unique opportunity because they would have gave them $150 million. $150 million easy for that fight.
But how do you fix a fight like that? How can you fix a fight like that?
Fix what fight?
The first fight.
The first fight with Ruiz and AJ?
Do you believe that was fixed? I don't believe it's fixed.
No, I don't believe it's fixed. I think AJ just lost the fight. He lost it. I don't think that fight was fixed. I mean, what is the benefit in fixing a fight like that? I don't see the benefit.
Fans losing interest?
AJ was marketable. All he had to do was just go in there. All that he had to do was go in there and beat Ruiz. And the ball would have kept rolling.
What I find is... Go on, Uncle.
I don't see the benefit. I don't see the benefit in them losing to Ruiz. Why would we get together and say, all right, look, AJ, we want you to lose to Ruiz so we can generate interest. Please, give me a break. It doesn't make sense. He got beat, man. He got beat. And then he thought about it. When the referee was talking to AJ in the corner, it looked like they were sitting on a front porch. And AJ was saying, AJ was calm and collected. And then the referee raised and AJ just walked to the corner as though to say, I've got millions of dollars in the bank and I don't need this shit. I don't need this. He casually walked over to the ring and just said, "Hey, how much money is in my bank account?" He didn't seem angry. He didn't seem upset. He didn't seem emotional. He just walked over and left the ring. And then that nonsense, giving people your belts before the fight even happens, you hand the belts out at the press conference. Well, give me a break, man.
You know, as he said, you know, there are 3 options, and he's going with option 2. Did you listen to the interview, by the way?
Some of it, you know, I lost interest in it.
What do you what do you think about military mindset?
Military mindset?
That's what he said. Military mindset.
Okay. He's got military mindset. Okay. Seeing his chin takes part in the military mindset.
Oh, you savage.
You know, you got all this military mindset. I'm going to do this here, and I'm going to do that, and I got this different mindset. Now, all that stuff to me don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. What means something is what goes on inside that square circle. You can have all the seances and different influences, hocus pocus and all that stuff, but it all goes down when that bell rings.
Yeah, he also said, you know, what was it? Lennox is a clown.
Yeah, he said Lennox was a clown, but Lennox handled it the right way. He just said, "My door's still open to AJ if he needs me." You know, it wasn't a real benefit in Lennox getting to a pissing contest with him over the end.
Okay. He says, well, you know, we've got 3 options. Anybody who thinks that I should leave Rob McCracken's a clown because Rob McCracken was there when none of these people were around. So I'm staying loyal to Rob McCracken.
Well, you know, I don't blame him for staying loyal to his trainer, Rob McCracken. If he wants to stay loyal to Rob McCracken, fine. But I can tell you one thing, that I told you 3 years ago that there was problems with AJ's offense and his defense. I told you that 3 years ago. I told you that before the Klitschko fight. I told you that after the Klitschko fight. That something was so shaky about his defense and about his offense, the way he made his delivery. And you can see when he made the delivery in the first fight, Ruiz, he put himself in a position to get hit high on the temple, almost on the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's boxing like a guy that was 6'2" instead of a guy that was 6'6".
Well, he says this time, he says, I won't do that. Obviously, I won't box that way no more. I won't box. I'll box tall instead. And
the point that I'm making is he had no business boxing like that in the first place.
Well, he said
he's supposed to use a good jab, use his height, use his reach, and just move just enough to make Ruiz reach. And he didn't do that. He engaged Ruiz, and that's why he wound up on the floor a couple of times. So, and I said that, I told you long before he got knocked out, I told you there's flaws in his defense, there's flaws in his offense. And if they don't do some maintenance on it, he's going to get clipped. And that time came. Just go back and check our interviews, and you'll see I said it a number of times.
Yep. Well, I predicted the Ruiz win, remember? Told you how Ruiz would do it.
I didn't see Ruiz winning. I picked AJ to stop Ruiz in 7 or 8 rounds.
I said as soon as he engages, it'll be trouble. And that's the problem, because all of his career he's had to engage. Now they said if he boxes like the Parker fight, he can win the fight. Because Parker's not short like that. Parker can't swarm, and Parker won't let his hands go the way Ruiz does. It's because Ruiz is a swarmer. That's the problem.
And Ruiz is a better puncher than Parker.
Mm-hmm. And
Ruiz is a better puncher than Parker.
He's a better fighter than Parker, and he's got more amateur experience than Parker.
Ruiz throws those garbage can punches, you know. He's just winging shots, and he don't care where those shots land, in your chest, in your neck, in your shoulder. What he's saying is, if I hit you with one of these punches, that I'm gonna hurt you.
Uncle, question being somebody said something here. Soul West says Ruiz has been absolutely no fear of AJ if AJ now, you could see in the presses.
Say that again.
He says he's got no fear of AJ now.
Who?
Ruiz.
Ruiz didn't have no fear in the first fight. Ruiz is a throwback fighter. He didn't have no fear the first time. If you go back to the pre-fight build-up, Ruiz said that I'm going to win the heavyweight championship because he probably saw the same flaws or some of the same flaws that I saw. He said, I'm going to be the heavyweight champion.
They said
this is an opportunity for me, and I'm going to take advantage of it. So I don't see Ruiz, and he looked very comfortable at these press conferences.
Okay. John Bravo says, can't wait till October 5th when Ivana Habazin shocks the world with a big KO of Claressa Shields.
Yeah, I think Ivana can knock her out. I think Ivana can put her to sleep. And that's what we're working for. We're working really hard to try to get the knockout. Because I don't think that we can get a fast shake in Michigan in our hometown. I just don't think we get a fast shake, even if they got international judges and stuff there. I just don't think we'll get a fast shake. I think Ivana needs to knock her out. She needs to knock her out.
When you talk about knockout power, Uncle, how do you know if your fighter hits hard enough to knock another person out?
I don't know. I'm judging her on what I see in the gym. I'm judging on what I do with her with the mitts. You know, and she's got 7 KOs in her fight. So she's the one with the KO power going into this fight. You know, I think that it boils down to mentality. What Ivana Habazin believes. If she believes, she's got to believe. She cannot allow Claressa Shields to get into her head. She's got to go out there and she's got to fight.
Had a few boxing experts on the YouTube channel come across and say that that video that you sent me over, she's got lots of holes in her defense.
Yeah, well, Claressa got a lot of holes in her defense. You know, I've only worked with Ivana for 2 fights.
Okay.
This is our 3rd fight together, working together, you know. You know, so, you know, I mean, Claressa has some holes in her defense. In her offense, in her defense. So, you know, a lot of people have defensive problems. It don't mean jack if you clip them on the chin and put them to sleep.
That's very true.
You know? Very,
very true.
So I'm training Ivana Habazin in the fight. The fight, it's a fight. It's a fight. It's no sense in me making it more than what it is. It's a fight. You know, so yes, Ivana Habazin got some holes in her defense, and Claressa Shields has some holes in her defense. One is going to have to capitalize on the other. But it doesn't matter if one turns a punch in the right place and puts the other one to sleep.
Sounds like it's going to be a wholly good fight.
Yeah. I anticipate it's going to be a good fight.
Absolutely. So when are you scheduled or contracted to be in the US?
We're going to the US on the 29th. I mean, on the 19th. On the 19th of September, we're going to enter the US. Okay,
because what about Showtime? I'm sure they've got filming to do as well.
Yeah, so we're going on the 19th, and Showtime will have their way. They'll get the, you know, whatever it is that they're looking for.
Uncle, you'll be on Showtime. You'll be on Showtime, Uncle. You looking forward to it?
It won't be the first time.
I know it won't be the first time, but it's good to see you on Showtime. Well, HBO done now, so forget
Showtime,
HBO.
USA.
HBO done now, Uncle, for boxing. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there before. It's not this first time. Listen, I took Monty Barrett into New Zealand to beat David Tour. We wasn't supposed to win that fight. We won it. And we won it by a landslide. We didn't win it by the skin of our chin to chin. We won it by a landslide. I took Alexander Usyk into Poland to fight Glavatsky. We won that fight by a landslide. So I'm looking to do a hat trick with Ivana to take her into Michigan to beat Claressa Shields, you know, either by KO or by a landslide. So I'm not intimidated by going into somebody else's hometown. If the fighter wants to be there, the fighter wants to fight, then we'll see. You know, perhaps we can pull up a hat trick there. I think that Ivana has to stay focused and don't make the event bigger than her. Don't allow the event to be bigger than her. And if she does that day, I think that she fares well. You know, it's all, like I said, we worked together. We worked a little over a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this is our third fight together. So, and Ivana turned pro at 21 years old. Didn't have but 2 amateur fights. So she's come a long way to win 2 world titles inside of that time. You know, so I'm looking forward to her going in that ring and doing the duels, stopping her lift, Clarissa Shields.
So from where you were with Ivana when you first started training her to where you are with her now, the 2 training camps behind you and where you are now, where is Ivana?
A work in progress. That's what I'll say. A work in progress.
Okay, so we've got a cherry pie.
But the biggest thing is that I'm feeding off is Ivana's desire. It's not my desire. It's Ivana's desire. She wants to be there. So as long as she wants to be there, then I got something to work. Now, if I was pulling the horse uphill, then it'll be a different story. But she wants to be there, so I have something to work with. I have something to feed off of.
Okay, from where you were to where you are now, in terms of maybe a combination, you've finally got working together well. Either a step over, a step to the side, a slip a shot, something that you may have been working with from then till now, that you finally, as a team, work together. How is that?
Talk about that. I would now. This is a public interview, so I wouldn't talk about that now. You know, I will say that Ivana is a work in progress, but I won't say the particulars about what we're working on, what we've worked on, what we've achieved in that time.
Can you not give me something?
Yeah, I can't give you nothing. Because I can't give you nothing. I can't have nobody looking in the windows trying to find out what we're working on.
Okay. All right. I get that. People asking questions here.
But
Go ahead.
You gotta understand, Clarissa Shields been boxing since she was a kid. Ivana Habazin turned pro at 21 years old. So her whole career has been uphill. She hasn't had no big time promoters. She hasn't had no big time backers outside of her family. You know, so her desire is what got her in the position to even have this fight. Cecilia Brekov didn't seem to want to fight with Ivana. I don't know why not, but she didn't seem like she wanted to fight. You know, she didn't seem like she wanted. So into the picture, what enters the pictures now is Clarissa Shields, and that's our object, to try to beat Clarissa Shields.
Mm-hmm. Hi there. Question's been asked by HC Weather Updates. Could you ask Uncle Bashir if Customado could train David Price? Would he beat Andy Ruiz and Tyson Fury?
Customado was a unique scientist of the sport. If Customado had David Price or anybody else over a long period of time, it wouldn't happen overnight. But I think Cus would have Price a year, maybe 2 years, and Price would be a much better fighter because Customado was a brilliant strategist, a brilliant teacher. You know, and boxing misses the likes of a Customado. When you got a guy, you take a Customado took Jose Torres, who was a ghetto kid that didn't know how to box at all. He turned him into the light heavyweight champion of the world. Then he took another ghetto kid in Floyd Patterson and turned him into heavyweight champion of the world, the youngest heavyweight champion ever. And then right behind that, he comes back and takes another young guy out of the ghetto, Mike Tyson, and turns him into a heavyweight champion. Now he's the youngest heavyweight champion. So what are the odds of a man, one trainer, taking 2 guys out of the ghetto that didn't know how to fight, and both of them become the heavyweight champion of the world, both of them become the youngest heavyweights in history, and nobody has broken those records to this day.
Till this day.
Yeah, so to this day, nobody's even come close to breaking those records. Not even come close. So yeah, Customado was a brilliant strategist. I got great respect for Customado.
Okay.
You know, in the age of the internet, everybody overlooks the achievements of Customado. You know, everybody's overlooking the achievements. It's gone. It's gone. I erased it. It's gone. The film. I erased it. Yeah. Yeah. I told you I was. I said I'm gonna erase it. You said you didn't like it, so I erased it. So they we'll start fresh on Monday. So what is the likelihood of that? Customado was a brilliant teacher. In the age of the internet and all these other things, the age of that internet, he's overlooked, you know, by the powers that be, or by the pundits or fans alike who don't know about Customado, or Ray Arcel or Freddie Brown. This new era, they only know what they see on the internet, flash dash, you know, this and that. But Ray Arcel, Freddie Brown, Customado, those guys were sages of the sport. And as a young man, I looked up to them. I looked up to those guys.
Okay. People are saying here, Uncle, do you think that Joshua signed a slave contract?
I don't know.
In the sense that he has to fight. He has to fight whether he wants to or not.
Well, if he signed a slave contract, I'd like to be that slave. You know, I'd like to get some of that slave money that he's getting.
Well, he talked about his career, not being in control of his career.
Who?
AJ. He was saying, well, he's not in control of his decisions.
Yeah, but AJ, I spoke to AJ a couple of years back, and I told him that you're in a position now to make your own moves. You're the heavyweight champion of the world, and I told him that you are in a position to make your own move. He told me that Eddie did anything that he asked him to do. All right, that's what AJ told me. He said Eddie does anything that I asks him to do. So he seemed to be complacent with the arrangement that he had with Eddie Hunter. So if he's signed a slave contract, I come from an era where you know you got $200 for 6-round fights. So I'd like to be part of that slave contract that he's getting now.
Means he has that means he has to fight whether he wants to or not.
Well, he's getting paid for it. He has to fight whether he wants to or not. That's the kind of contract he got. He's getting paid for it big time. You know, I mean, like I said, I come from an era where guys got paid $200 for 6-round fights. Sometimes you get $1,000 for 8 rounds. You know?
Yeah.
I have had boxers tell me, man, I'm not fighting for $5,000. Yeah, a promoter offered got $5,000 one time for a 6-round fight. Man, I ain't fighting for no $5,000 because they come from a different era. The era I come from, $5,000, they would
big money
for $5,000.
Of course, bite someone's hand off for that. Yeah.
Now boxers got girlfriends that make $80,000, $90,000 a year. They stay in their girlfriend's house all day, eating, on the phone, on the internet, laying up in the house. They go out the house at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They go hit a speed bag, heavy bag, come back in the house and lay up because they got a girl that's paying all of the expenses. But the era that I come from, the 50s and the 60s, if somebody said $5,000 for a 6-round fight, they might kill somebody for $5,000. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get
the difference is in the time,
I hear
era. So here AJ is. People say, yeah, AJ got a slave contract, but AJ getting $20 million, $18 million, $14 million a fight. What kind of slave contract? Give me one of those slave contracts. You know, give me one of those slave contracts.
Okay.
It's look. It can act as a benefit or it can act as a deterrent. You saw how AJ walked back to that corner when the referee waved it off. Did you see how he walked back to that corner?
Mm-hmm.
He had a little swag in his walk. He said he had that swag in his walk. He said, "Look, I got X amount of $1 million in my bank account. I'm not worried. I'm not worried because I got these millions in my bank account."
Fury says, "Once you quit once, you'll always quit."
Fury said, "Once you quit once, you'll always quit."
Yeah.
Well, he's a fighter. I don't know. That's his perspective. Who am I to say?
Okay.
But I remember some years ago before Tommy Parks trained Ray Mercer.
Mm-hmm.
He trained Al Cole.
Mm-hmm.
He trained Charles Murray. Trained Bobby Ches.
Mm-hmm.
He trained a few champions.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just about had it at the time with Maurice Harris. I was fed up with it, you know. And Parks said, "Don't give up on him." I said, "Huh?" He said, "Don't give up on him." He said, "Because if he was a quitter, he wouldn't come to this gym every day and go through that sparring and stuff."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Don't quit. Don't give up on him because this kid's a fighter. That's why he keeps coming to this gym every day. Yeah, I know he got a couple of losses, but he shows up every day and he does what you ask him to do. So don't quit him." And then I made so much money with him. You know?
Yeah.
He stayed in the saddle. So, you know, Fury said if you quit once, you know, you never can tell. You never can tell. It might be true in some cases, but it won't be true in every case.
Okay.
I wrote something on AJ's Instagram page, and I said that, look, Joe Louis came back after Max Mellon destroyed him in one round. No, he destroyed Max in one round, but Max Mellon beat Joe Louis. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Muhammad Ali got beat by Joe Frazier. He came back to beat Frazier twice in blazing fights. Muhammad Ali got his jaw broken by Kenny Norton, and he came back to beat Kenny Norton twice.
Yeah, but these.
So you can't never dismiss the human spirit.
Well, Vitaly Klitschko quit against Chris Bird, and he came back and he fought bravely against Lennox Lewis. He could have quit then. Yeah.
So you can't say, you know, one night does not define a fighter's career. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, and I wrote that on AJ's page, you know. You got to dig down. So whatever you do now will last for the rest of your life.
So what about
25, 30, 40 years from now, you'll look back on that time when you was in that ring fight, and you don't want to be sitting in your living room saying, if I coulda, woulda, shoulda. This is your opportunity. This is the night that you better fight. This is the night you got to go and do it. And then you sit back in your rocket chair for the next 35, 40, 50 years from now and say, I did it. I fucking did it. You understand?
Yeah.
I did it because I had desire. But you don't want to be sitting in your chair 20 years from now saying, if I coulda, woulda, shoulda.
On that point, do you think, how long do you think it takes for a fighter to learn a new move effectively and then be able to do it under pressure?
Say that again.
How long does it take for a fighter? So now I'm learning how to fight a swarmer, and in this fight I need to. The first fight I got, so I used the Joshua situation. Now I'm going to learn how to box off my back foot and keep that.
I'll tell you, different strokes for different folks. All right, different strokes for different folks. It takes some people longer, and some people a shorter time to achieve something, to be able to get the game plan. You know. Sometimes it takes a little while, sometimes it takes a long while. Ken Norton just had a style that gave Muhammad Ali problems. I don't care if they fought 100 times. Ken Norton would always give Muhammad Ali problems. He just had a style that gave Ali problems. Then, but somebody else go in there like George Foreman and just take Norton out of it. Styles makes fights. Ali just always had problems with Ken Norton's style. As good a fighter as Ali was, he just had problems with Kenny Norton's style.
Like Pacquiao had problems with Marquez.
Yeah, but Pacquiao had a gung-ho trainer in Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach is the one that ran Pacquiao into that right hand from Marquez. If Freddie Roach has some sense and said, look, just stay back and keep pecking away at your jab and landing that left hand, they're going to stop this fight. But instead, he was cracking the whip saying, go after him, put the pressure on him. Because he was so hungry for a knockout, he got Pacquiao knocked out, in my opinion. And
yes.
Nobody said nothing about it.
Yep.
Nobody said nothing about it. But if that had been me telling him to do that, the press would have been all over me.
Absolutely.
Freddie Roach ran Pacquiao. Go back and look at the video. People in the listening audience, go back and look at the video. And if they got commentary on it, to see Freddie Roach say, step on the gas, go after him.
Empty the tank.
Because he was hungry for a knockout.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he got Pacquiao knocked out. Nobody said a word about it.
Yeah. You're being asked a question here, Uncle.
Where you going? Huh? Go ahead.
Yeah, Uncle. So, yeah, okay. How much running does Uncle have his cruiserweight and heavyweight do, and how many miles per week?
I'm like Georgie Patton. I don't like my fighters to run.
Yeah, no, they're not marathon runners.
There are other techniques that you can use to replace the running. I don't like my boxers to run. If a boxer has it in their mind that they want to run, fine, go ahead. I can't stop them. But I don't suggest any of my boxers to run anywhere other than to the bathroom.
Okay. John Bravo says Shields punched the hell out of a girl at 165 with braids. Couldn't KO the girl, so Ivana shouldn't be scared of her power at 154. Ivana.
I don't get the impression Ivana ever been afraid of Shields. Where did that come from?
Because
Ivana's got 20 fights. I don't get the impression that Ivana's afraid. I've never got that impression. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Because
so I never got that impression from her that she was afraid of anybody.
Says Ivana needs to go to work on Clarissa have no fear.
That's what we intend to do. We intend to fight. This is a fight, and that's what we prepare for. It's not just a mental preparation, but it's a spiritual preparation too. I want her to go in the ring and fight. And if I got the impression that she was afraid of her, I wouldn't be here right now. So yeah, it's just a fight.
Robert McCracken said,
I tell Ivana, don't allow the event to become bigger than her.
But how do you do that? How do you make an event get bigger than you? How can an event get bigger than you? Explain that.
Huh?
How can an event get bigger than you? For an experienced fighter like Ivana.
When I say don't let the event get bigger than you, don't get caught up in the lights, press conferences, and Clarissa talking and woofing and this and that. That's when you let the event get bigger than you. You know?
Right.
You've got to stay focused on what you need to do to win the fight. And not be intimidated by what anybody says. Anybody. Because people are going to talk. That's part of the fight game. People are going to talk. They're always going to say this, that, or the other. You can't allow the event to become bigger than you. You just got to stay focused on what you have to do, because it all falls down to what's going to happen in that ring that night.
Do you think the environment, because John Bravo says it's going to be a hostile environment?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a hostile environment. But as I said to you before, I took Monty Barrett into New Zealand to fight David Tua, and I took Oleksandr into Poland to fight Lewandowski. And neither one of those guys, neither one of them, and I give them credit because neither one of them were totally unintimidated. They were focused on the task in hand, and they did everything I asked them to do in that ring, and they won. And they won going away. They won big time. They didn't win by the skin of their chin. They won. But massive scores. Go back and look at the scores for those fights.
Yeah.
They boxed a little, they slugged a little, they were in, they were out, they had to win the fight. And mind you, Monty Barrett got his jaw broken 2 places in that fight. But he still held on to secure the victory with a broken jaw, with a severely broken jaw.
All right. John Bravo says, I'm saying Clarissa doesn't have the power to KO Ivana. She needs to know that.
Anybody can get KO'd at any time. So we don't want to go in there with no contempt in a game plan. She's got to go in there and stay alert and box.
Okay.
Box a little, slug a little, bang a little. You just got to be smart because anybody can be knocked out by anybody else at any given time. And then when you get brave out there and say, she can't knock me out. That's not the attitude you're going with. I would always caution against that.
Just to close, your old fighter, Alexander Usyk makes his comeback against Tyrone Sprong at heavyweight.
What did you say it again?
Former undisputed cruiserweight champion makes his debut at heavyweight against Tyrone Sprong.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Usyk should handle Sprong. Sprong is a kickboxer, and he's just coming into the sport of boxing. But I do respect Sprong, Tyrone. He's a good fighter. But he's coming from kickboxing to boxing, and he's coming in against one of the deeper talents in boxing today, Alexander Usyk. So I don't think that Sprong is going to be able to show Alexander Usyk anything that Alexander Usyk hasn't seen before.
Yeah. Okay. Soul West, it's really funny how people come up with some answers, yeah? Do you remember the interview we did back in 2013 when we talked about Deontay Wilder and AJ and Dillian White all being in the camp with Vladimir Klitschko? You remember the interview we did? And Richard Towers being in that camp as well.
Yeah.
And that you talked about Wilder getting dropped in that camp. Wow, apparently it was Johnny.
Wilder got dropped in the camp. Wilder did get dropped in the camp. Vladimir Klitschko dropped him.
I know. We talked about that way back in.
That's not no real mark against Deontay Wilder because he was young. He was just coming up. He just learning the sport. So I don't think it's a really blow against him.
I know.
He was in there with the heavyweight champion of the world. He was trying to put pressure on Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko hit him and hurt him on a couple occasions, as I recall. Vladimir hurt him on 2, maybe 3 occasions. He put him down one time, but he landed some good shots on Deontay. But Deontay was young, and he was learning the sport. So, but it's no blow against him. He's in with the heavyweight champion of the world.
That was in 2013.
Richard Towers was into it. Richard Towers.
Yeah, Richard Towers got dropped in that in there as well.
Yeah.
But we did that interview in 2013. That's when that story was first broken. Now, apparently, Johnny Nelson said that. It wasn't Johnny Nelson. It was me and you that spoke about that stuff. The way Johnny Nelson wasn't even around doing that.
Yeah, Johnny Nelson. He got some inside scoop from somebody, but I'm telling you how I saw it.
He had some scoopy.
I was there for all of Vladimir Klitschko's camps. The only camp that I wasn't there for with Vladimir Klitschko was the Joseph Parker camp. I wasn't in the camp then, so I was with Alexander Usyk. Well,
he was saying Johnny Nelson told the world how Usyk was outboxing and was too much for Vladimir Klitschko, and he had him behind.
I think Johnny got his wires crossed up because Usyk hadn't sparred Vladimir at that time.
I know, but he told the world that stuff, and I corrected everyone about it afterwards.
so he might have got it mixed up with somebody else that was in there boxing him. But Usyk had not been in the ring with Vladimir Klitschko at that time.
I'm hearing us two stories. All right, listen to this. I'm hearing that Miller's going to be out shortly, and the first fight back he wants Joe Joyce. What are your thoughts on that?
Jarrell Miller
wants Joe Joyce.
I think that's a good fight for Miller. I think that's a good fight between Jarrell Miller and Joe Joyce. I think that's a good fight. That's a good heavyweight fight, a good action fight.
Miller may knock Joyce out.
He may knock him out. I wouldn't put it past him. You know, I wouldn't put it past him.
Hey, there's another fight as well that's come up now. Carl Frampton's going to fight Isaac Dogba.
Yeah, that's a good fight.
Do you really
I
think
think Carl wins the fight. I think Carl wins the fight.
November?
I think Carl wins the fight.
What are they doing with Dogba? Dogba's just going to be end up being a journeyman fighter. He got beat up twice.
Dogba need to take another fight, a couple of fights before he fights that kind of fight.
Well, he's fighting Frampton next.
Well, I mean, he's just coming off a KO loss.
That's what I'm saying. Bad fight.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. He's coming off a KO. You know, he should take the time to come back.
They're having a fight up at he's moving up to featherweight.
Yeah, I think that's a bad idea. I think he gets knocked out again.
What about when you get beat up the way he got beat up? Your punch resistance goes, and with it your actual spirit.
Well, again, it's not a good idea.
Joseph Parker and Derek Chisora.
Joseph Parker and Derek Chisora. Good fight. Derek could win that fight.
All Derek has to do is just keep throwing left hooks.
Derek could win that fight, and Parker could win that fight. It's a winnable fight for both guys.
He's going to false park onto the back foot and keep throwing left hooks.
I think that Joseph Parker is an underachiever.
Do you know what? I think Joseph Parker could become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world if he had a better trainer.
Yeah, but you know, I think that Parker is not really bringing his talents to fruition.
That's what I believe.
You know, I think he's a good fighter, but I think again that he's done what he could do with
that trainer.
With, yeah, because I don't see any change in his style. I don't see any change in the tempo of the way he fights. You know, I just don't understand. You know, like AJ said that, you know, he's being loyal, and I understand that. I get that. But Hattie, you better bring in somebody to help, or to give some valuable information to Robert Cracker. You can leave him in that chief trainer, but you got to bring somebody in to help.
Yeah,
give him some pointers.
He's going for option 2. He's going to add some sweet science.
He's what?
He's going with option 2. He's adding sweet science.
Okay. If that's what you're saying, okay.
That's what he said. He says, you know, option number 1, we get rid of which would be Rob McCracken. We're not going to do that. I think option number 2 was we add, and option number 3 was I don't know what option. You get rid of the whole team, I think. So I think, well, basically, you went for option number 2, which was to add to the team.
You know, you have a big industry all around the world, major industry. And if they have, I've seen it even in the networks, Showtime and HBO. I've seen that where they replace executives like they change underwear. You know, because this executive had a better plan, a better idea of how to run those corporations. So, I mean, what's the difference in boxing? I'll tell you what, blind loyalty. HBO, Showtime, they don't play that stuff. They say, listen, you're in there or you're out of there. If you can't do the job, then we have to replace you. You know, no love lost. We're just trying to make money. We're trying to attract people. So we're going to replace you with somebody else. Mm-hmm. I've seen it done numerous times over the years. So you can't say that I don't want to let this guy go because I love him. This is a business, man, you know, and we're trying to win. We're trying to stay on top. So you got to bring in somebody else to fulfill that spot. Speaking about AJ, speaking about Joseph Parker, even myself, if I can't do the job for a boxer and the boxer says, hey, that's shit, we got to replace you. Mm-hmm. I may not like it, but I can understand it.
Yep. If you haven't done a good job.
If the fighter is losing two in a row is a bit much. So if the fighter comes to me and says, listen, man, I lost 2 in a row. I'm going to bring in this trainer here, you know, so we got to dismiss you, you know, no hard feelings. I may not like it, but again, I can understand it.
Okay. Last question. Vlad Sirenko, how's he doing? And what's going on with him?
Vlad Sirenko is my man. Vlad Sirenko, like I told you some time ago, is my ace in the hole. And I think I can go to the gig with Vlad Sirenko. You know, I love Vlad Sirenko for a lot of reasons. Not just because he's a good boxer, not because he has heart, not because he's a great big puncher, but, you know, for reasons that are obvious and reasons that are not so obvious. I love Vlad Sirenko. I love working with Vlad Sirenko. Vlad Sirenko is my ace in the hole, and I see Vlad Sirenko going in and taking the heavyweight championship. He'll win the heavyweight championship.
How does that?
I'm just waiting for his big debut. I'm going to bring him to the forefront of boxing. Maybe 2020, maybe about June or something. He'll be ready. How does
Sirenko differ to Usyk in terms of personality?
I mean, Usyk was a world star. You know, a lot of people was pulling on from every direction. You know, I mean, Usyk had made millions of dollars even before he won the title. So it's very, very hard when you're dealing with somebody that's temperamental like that. You know, when you got this person pulling on, that person pulling on, this person whispering in your head, that person whispering in your head. Mm-hmm. So somehow it divided us. It separated me and Alexander Usyk. We were good for a long time. For basically 3 years, we were very good. You know, I felt very confident with him. But then after he won the title, or coming up to the title, mm-hmm. I saw things starting to change. You know, mm-hmm. Things start changing in the camp. And then the last camp that we did, I wasn't comfortable at all. I wasn't happy at all. You know, I knew then in that last camp that would be our last fight together. Mm-hmm. You know, so yeah, I mean, different influences. Vlad Sirenko, at this point, I've seen none of that. Nothing even close to that. You know,
right?
I just don't get that. You know, different personas. You know, maybe like you know, maybe Usyk wasn't happy with the way I trained him. Even though he won the title, even though he broke the record of the great Evander Holyfield. Holyfield took the Cruiserweight Championship of the world with 12 victories. Mm-hmm. I took Usyk to Poland to beat Glavoski. He only had 10 fights.
Wow.
And we went in and we beat Glavoski for the title in Poland, in his hometown.
Yes.
So I'm trying to find out, you know, what could I have done wrong? If I took you to the title with 10 fights, you chose me. Usyk was Olympic gold medalist. He was an Olympic gold medalist. He had numerous fights at heavyweight. I don't know how many heavyweight fights. I mean, how many fights he had in the amateurs. And when he turned pro, mm-hmm. he told his promoter, "Get me Bashir. Bring Bashir here to Ukraine. I want him to train me."
Wow.
He didn't need me. He was an accomplished, seasoned, veteran amateur fighter. He didn't need me. So out of all of the trainers in the world, he saw something in me to say, I want Bashir to train me. He could have had anybody to train him. So, I didn't balk about it. I know in that last training camp, I didn't feel comfortable at all. I didn't feel like I was wanted, like I was needed. And that's what made me decide to go. Mm-hmm. So if Usyk didn't say that, hey, look, I don't need you no more, I was going to say, I want to go. He just beat me to it, I was told by others in the industry that, hey, you need to walk away from that. If you're not happy, if you're not comfortable, you need to walk away. I said, no. And I waited, and then he said it, listen, I don't need you no more, man. I move on. I got the world championship. I want to do other things with other people. And I think he's brought in 2 or 3 different trainers since then. Yeah. But he worked with me for the 3 years.
Yeah. So when does Sirenko fight again?
Sirenko is going to fight again on October the 11th.
Yep.
In Germany, in Karlsruhe, where our last in Karlsruhe.
October the 11th.
Where our last October the 11th. I'm right up finishes with Clarissa Shields. I'll be on a plane headed to Germany to be in the corner with Vlad Sirenko.
I think I'll definitely be at that one. I want to be at that one. I want to be there.
I really appreciate Vlad Sirenko. I really feel good about Vlad Sirenko's chances of winning the heavyweight championship.
Okay.
He's a level-headed guy. He tries hard. He tries to do everything that I ask him to do. I'm really happy with him. I'm just really happy with him. And I don't see any problems between Vlad Sirenko and myself.
Okay.
I see us going to the championship together. I really, really see him going to the heavyweight championship. He got 4 major titles out there. 4 major titles out there. And I see Vlad Sirenko climbing in the window and getting one of those belts.
Wow.
In 2020, I can see it.
Now,
I can feel it.
Do you know anything about, did you know that Ruiz Vissa is in Las Vegas at the moment?
Yeah, I know that Ruiz is in Las Vegas. He's there with his father. He's probably having a meeting with Bob Arum. I don't know what about.
There's they have a big fight coming up, so I understand.
Well, he was supposed to fight in Russia, and they pulled the plug on it. Probably the opponent was a little bit too dangerous for Ron.
Who were they going to fight?
I don't know, but it was a Russian guy, and I think Ruan's brain trust pulled the plug on it, and nothing happened.
Okay. All right.
I just my focus now really is on Ivana Habazin and
Sirenko.
Vlad Sirenko. I have another Vladimir Kaisuk also. Yeah, Vladimir Kaisuk. He's from Odessa, Ukraine. I have a great interest in him to see how he is. But he's only got 3 fights right now. So, but my main interest now is Vlad Sirenko and Ivana Habazin. I want to win this fight with Clarissa Shields. No fight is easy, but no fight is impossible either.
Okay.
I'm putting everything that I got into it, and I'm looking for get results out of it.
Okay.
But Vlad Sirenko again, he's my man. That's my ace in the hole. Vlad Sirenko. I love him to death. He's a good guy.
Okay. Last point. John Bravo says, I don't think Clarissa has had a fight with a fighter of Ivana's caliber and with a trainer like Bashir, so it's been easy for her. I want to know, does Ivana get the title of greatest of all time after she beats Clarissa, since she calls herself the greatest of all time?
Well, Ivana is a little more humble, Ivana will win the belt. She'll go home with her dogs in her living room and watch movies. That's what she likes to do.
Yes.
She enjoys being at home with her dogs, watching movies. So she's a little more humble. I just want to be the guy that gets her through this, that gets her through this here. It's a lot. You got a woman that turned pro at 21 years old and had 2 amateur fights and lost both of them. and turned pro right after that. Then she wins one world title. She wins the second world title, and now she's vying for her third world title. And she's going up against a girl who's been in the ring since she was, I don't know, 10, 11 years old, somewhere around that time, you know. So it's a lot. It's a lot. You got to go into the United States, and then you got to go into her hometown. So it's a lot. So she's juggling a lot on her back, but she's handling it well. We got good sparring. We got some rough, tough girls here in sparring camp, and she's juggling. She's handling it. You know, she's handling constructive criticism, and she's putting in the work.
Fantastic. She's
putting in the work. It's not easy. Boxing is not easy. No, and then it's not really easy for women. And these girls are banging. You know, I got to stop them sometimes and say, "Hey, are you all right?" She said, "Yeah, I'm all right." I said, you know, in the back of my mind, I'm saying, "Damn, the girl hit her hard, and she hit the girl hard." So she's putting the work. You know, but I'm really, really am putting everything on the line in this fight. I want to win this fight. You know, there are some things that need to be updated here, updated there. You know, that she can do better. I feel she can do better. But again, we've only been working together for 1 year. In that year, we've improved a lot. But there's still more that I would like to improve on going into the Clarissa Shields fight. Because there's not a lot of room for mistakes boxing Clarissa Shields. She's such an intelligent girl. She's been out there a long time. And she's such an intelligent talent in that ring. You know, so there's not a lot of room for mistakes out there.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm pushing her to the line, getting her in good shape, so when she steps in that ring, she'll be able to fight.
Okay.
All I'm asking for her to do is put her best foot forward. Put her best foot forward, her best effort. Just come in there and give it your best. And you do that there, then I'm satisfied. I'm happy.
Fantastic.
Okay, Uncle. I think we're done. All right. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, of course.
Anything else you want to say before we go?
Hey, look, thank you to all the people out there in the listening audience. I appreciate you. England appreciates you. You know, hit the like button. Subscribe. That's all. You know, look out for us. So we're working together here. And all the people listening for it, we are the people who keep boxing alive. We are the insiders. We are the ones who knows. It's not the Eddie Hearns and the different promoters. It's not them. It's us. We are the ones who's keeping this sport alive. We need to call these people out where they do something wrong. If you see something wrong, say, "Hey, that was wrong. This is not right." This guy, Edwards, that got knocked out by the guy while he's on the floor. My opinion was that Edwards was going to get up anyway.
He's going to get knocked out anyway, yeah.
But the guy shouldn't have hit him. But I understand and I don't understand. I understand somebody hit somebody on the floor. But a lot of times, when a guy is on the floor, when a guy falls down, he's got to go all the way down. That guy was on his knee or something. So I guess in the fighter's mind, in the heat of the moment, in the heat of passion, in the heat of emotion, he threw the punch. And that's what cost him the title, because Edwards was done. And so Edwards kept maintaining the title. When they call it a no contest, he maintained the title. And now I see Eddie Hearn says, "Oh, there may not be another fight." then the WBC said, "No." Eddie Hearn said, "No, it may not be another fight." And that's Eddie Hearn. He's not going to put him back in there with that kid. What's the Caesar something?
Yeah.
You know, he said that Eddie Hearn is not going to put him back in there because he knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That kid's going to knock him out again, and this time he'll knock him out sooner.
Yeah.
So Eddie Hearn is looking to take the another route. You know, because he knows that his champion is gone. He knows that kid will knock him out.
Absolutely.
So typical Eddie Hearn. Well, it may not be another. Why not? The WBC says we'll be ordering
an all-night rematch.
An immediate rematch, maybe down in the desert.
Down in the desert.
Yeah. So he said, "Look, I'm not trying to lose my title here. You understand? Eddie Hearn was biting his fingers. His nails was already gone, so he's biting his fingers doing that fight the whole time. The kid knocked him out. And now he's not interested in putting back in, but the WBC said, no, y'all got to fight. You got to come back and fight. You can't just
Absolutely.
You can't just walk away. You can't walk away from the obligation of who you are. You're the champion. So now you got to fight that same guy. Roy Jones hit Montel Griffith when he's on the floor.
Yep. And Roy came back and forth, knocked him out in a round.
A lot of times it's not the fighter's fault because they're in the ring fighting.
Yeah.
They're tired. In many cases, they're hurt. So they can't discern when a guy's down. That guy Evans was on his knees. So he might have, you know what I'm saying? He was on his knee. He wasn't all the way down. Even though it was considered on the floor, people don't understand the boxer gets caught up in the emotion and throws the punch anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what it was the referee's fault because the referee was out in the audience somewhere. The referee is supposed to be on top of the action to jump in between them and stop and say, go to the corner.
He didn't.
But the referee was out in the audience somewhere talking to people or something. He might as well have been. Then he just forced the guy to go to the corner after the punch was landed. So when you got two fighters in the emotion, I've seen it over and over again. That's why the referee says protect yourself at all times. If you're injured, go down, lay on the floor, do something to get out the way of those punches. Because Charlie got hit, he didn't even see that punch, and he got hit in the liver.
Yeah.
That's why he had his expression on his face. He got hit in the liver. For those people in the listening audience, if you have never been hit in the liver, you don't ever want to experience. That's one pain
you don't want to
experience. Or get punched in the stomach cleanly. You don't want to experience that kind of pain. You understand? I mean, it's just like, oh my God.
So you turn the lights out on you and you can't get your breath.
That's the whole problem. You can't get your breath.
You double over. Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie, you saw everybody that saw the fight saw how badly he was hurt. You can't get your breath. Oscar De La Hoya versus
Hopkins.
Bernard Hopkins.
It's like it's just short circuits you and there's nothing you can do.
You can't breathe, man. You can't breathe. And when you can't get that air in there, I remember Mike Tyson hit Maurice Harris with a body shot in the liver. Mike Tyson hit Maurice Harris and dropped him on that floor. I thought for sure that he had broken his ribs. But the main thing was that Harris was struggling to get his breath back. Just to breathe, man. You understand? Breathe. I'm here in the swimming pool, you know, here in the building. We live here in Bogota, Colombia. And man, I go downstairs, I got these goggles that he found aboard, and I put the goggles on, and I swim. I try to swim the whole length of the pool. And I'm almost swimming the whole length of the pool, except for maybe about 3 feet. I can't quite swim the whole length, you know. And man, when I come from under that water, I'm struggling for breath because the altitude is so high here. And I keep saying I'm not going to do that because I mess around, have a heart attack trying to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
When you can't breathe, it's a difficult thing. It's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And boxers go through this all the time. They get hit with body punches. You understand? In the liver, in the stomach. You know, and they can't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
They can't breathe. They don't want to quit, but a lot of times they have to quit because they can't breathe. When you can't breathe, it's a cause to panic.
Yes.
You know, it's a real cause to panic. You saw the guy that Vlad Sirenko just fought in the last fight?
Yes.
Did you see that?
Rib. Yes.
Did you see that shot? He hit him in the liver, and the guy couldn't breathe out. Everybody in the audience was fearful that the guy wasn't going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
It took him almost 15 minutes just to get his breathing right, to stand him up.
Mm-hmm.
He got hit with a liver shot, and he was hollering. The people in the audience could hear, but the people close to ringside could hear the way that he was hollering, and the way he was trying to get his breath because he got hit with a body shot. He got hit with a left hook in the lip. I said, "Oh my God, you know what he's talking about?" And I kept praying in my mind, praying for him. I said, "God, please don't let this kid be injured. Don't let him be injured." So he recovered. He recovered and said, "Hey, man, look, I wanted to give you a better fight, but you caught me with a good liver shot, and that spells the end for anybody.
Yep. Yep.
Vlad Sirenko was my man, though. Vlad Sirenko is the guy that I'm putting all my chips on.
The next time you get a chance, I'd like to get a please subscribe to BWTM Sports from you and Ivana on video, a short video, so I can put on my subscribe channel.
Okay, we'll do.
All right, so Ivana and yourself saying subscribe to BWTM Sports.
Yep.
All right.
And I'll also do it with Vlad.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do that.
I'll do it with Vlad too. You know.
All right.
Because because my feeling is about your programs is that you've been there from day one for me, and I'll be there for you. That's the way life's supposed to work. That's the way you're supposed to do your friends, you know?
Yeah.
You get the first crack, all right? You get the first crack, all right?
Thank you.
First crack.
I appreciate that.
I don't care where I go. I don't care where I go, because I got something to offer. You know, I got something to offer. But like I said, these guys that's in the business today is in the splash and dash. Splash and dash. They don't understand the logistics about the sport. You know, how it's supposed to run, how it's the procedure supposed to go. I know, because I put my entire adult life into it. And I hope that I got a few more years before I check out, you know?
Absolutely. We hope so too, Uncle.
Okay. Have a good evening.
You too, Uncle. Take care. Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good night, Uncle. There you have it. Uncle James Ali Bashir. So I kept it open for you guys to get Uncle Bashir, and there you've got him. Extended interview of Uncle Bashir. I hope you enjoyed it. This is BWTM Online. We are out. See you soon.